A very good morning to all the students. So in today's session, I'm planning to discuss a topic on the crypt analysis. So the crypt analysis is the point of discussion in our today's presentation. So what do you understand by the term crypt analysis? Anybody please respond. What do you understand by the term crypt analysis? Yeah, please respond. What do you mean by crypt here?
Secret code, sir.
Yeah, cipher or crypt, anything we call it as a secret code. So we are going to analyze the secret codes so as to get the plain text or the key. We have discussed this particular concept, crypt analysis, in the previous sessions also, right? So we have gone through a topic called as cryptographic attacks. If you remember this topic where we have dealt with these cryptographic attacks, the cryptographic attacks are classified into two categories. One is the crypt analysis, and the second category is non-crypt analysis. At that particular point, we have not discussed in depth about this crypt analysis, right? But we have given a definition on this crypt analysis where we are going to analyze the codes. We are going to analyze the secret codes in order to get the plain text or the key. The main intention is to know what the user or the sender is sending to the receiver. So the main intention is to get the plain text. But as I told that the attacker his intention is to either get the plain text or the key. So if the attacker gets the plain text, he knows what information is being transferred from the sender to the receiver. But once the key is compromised, listen carefully, compromising the plain text is with that particular scenario only. So for example, in the first context, I am using one cryptographic algorithm A1. Let us assume that the encryption algorithm that I am using is A1, and I am sending a text called hi. And I am using, in the second scenario, I am using the same algorithm A1, but this time I am sending the message hello. And in the third case, in the third scenario, I use the same algorithm A1, and I am going to send another text like university, right? So if the attacker knows the plain text, if the attacker's intention is to know the plain text, then at each and every scenario the plain text is going to change. Am I right or not? In the first scenario, the user sends say hi, second scenario he sends hello, and in the third scenario he sends the university. These are the three texts that have. The same algorithm A1 has been used, and the same key has been used to encrypt these three texts. So if the user attacks and finds this plain text, he is able to get only this plain text hi. He is able to read only hi. And in the second scenario, the attacker again he has to make all the efforts to retrieve this plain text hello. And in the third scenario, the attacker has to make all the efforts to retrieve the plain text university. So for each and every scenario, the user has to make lot of efforts to identify the plain text. But there is a simple technique for the attacker, right? So if he attacks the key, so all the algorithm, the single algorithm A1 in all the scenarios of sending the hi, hello and university, the user is using the same key. Am I right or not? The user is using the same key. So in such scenario, if the key is compromised, assume that the attacker got this key, he got the key, and during the transmission from the sender to the receiver, that is through the communication channel, the attacker attacks the communication channel and he will get the ciphertext. So once he knows the ciphertext and once he knows the key, it is very much easy to get the plain text. So compromising the key of an encryption algorithm or a cryptographic algorithm means you are compromising everything. Right. So nothing is secret at this point. So it is very important that you should always protect the key. If possible, you try to send this key from the sender to the receiver in another secured channel where the attacker cannot attack that particular communication channel. So this is the role, the importance of this particular cryptographic key in the cryptographic algorithms. Right. So plain text is important. We need to encrypt the plain text, and the plain text should not be read by the unauthorized users. That is the main intention. But you can sometimes you can get compromised with this plain text. So you may be compromised with the hi or another text hello or the another text university. But it does not have that much effect. But once the key is compromised, then everything is compromised. Whatever you send, the third party unauthorized user can easily retrieve the plain text if he knows the key. So the importance of the key is this. This you have to understand. Is it clear up to this point?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So while we discussed the concept of the cryptographic attacks, there are two types of cryptographic attacks. One is the cryptanalysis and the non-cryptanalysis. So in the cryptanalysis, we are going to make use of the mathematical concepts like algebraic structures or like algebra, like any analysis techniques you can use. The mathematical concepts are very much required for the cryptanalysis. Right. So you will make use of lot of concepts from the mathematics and you try to attack the crypto system. So what do you mean by crypto system? We all know about this crypto system. What is the other name for the crypto system? So what is the other name for the crypto system?
Cipher system.
It is cipher system, right? So it involves any crypto system you take, it involves three different components. One is the algorithm related for the key generation, and the second one is algorithm for the encryption, and the third one is algorithm for the decryption. So the ultimate goal of cryptanalysis, and you need to understand one more term called as cryptanalyst. Right. So the person who is involved or who makes this analysis on the crypts is called as the cryptanalyst. Right. He is the user who makes some analysis on the cryptographic systems. Right. And he will attack these cryptographic systems, crypto systems. So the cryptanalysis makes use of lot of mathematical concepts, and their main objective is to attack the codes, the cipher codes or the ciphertext, and by making use of that ciphertext, they are going to retrieve either the plain text or the key. Right. And the non-crypt analysis, this we have gone through in-depth analysis, where the non-crypt analysis, they are not going to concentrate on the algorithms or the mathematical concepts that are related to the algorithms. In fact, they are more interested to compromise the CIA triad. What is CIA triad?
Confidentiality, integrity, and availability.
Right, super. So it is confidentiality, integrity, and availability. So they try to make compromise the confidentiality of the crypto system, or they try to compromise the integrity of the crypto system, or they try to compromise the availability. Can anybody tell me what are the any terminology that is related to compromise the C confidentiality? So you might have gone through the concept of snooping or the traffic analysis. These two techniques are used to compromise the confidentiality in a non-crypt analysis manner. And similarly, in order to compromise the integrity using the non-crypt analysis, you may use masquerading, or you may use replaying, or you may use repudiation, and you can use the modification also, simple technique. And similarly, to compromise the availability, you might have gone through the concept called as DOS. What is DOS? DOS stands for
Denial of service, sir.
denial of services. Super, right? So the non-crypt analysis, they are more concentrated to compromise this CIA triad. They are not interested to attack the crypto systems based on some mathematical concepts, or they are not interested to take the ciphertext like that, right? Is it clear the difference between the crypt analysis and the non-crypt analysis? Simple. The crypt analysis is purely based on the mathematical concept, whereas the non-crypt analysis, they are also based on some mathematical concepts only, but they are more intended to deal, or they are more intended to compromise the CIA triad. This is the main difference between the crypt analysis and the non-crypt analysis, right? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So let us have what this slide is going to discuss, right? So the crypt analysis is a study of crypto systems with the objective of attacking the crypto systems and decrypting the codes and the ciphertext. So the main intention is to attack the crypto system to get the plain text, or to get the key. Anything is possible, right? So they want to decrypt the codes and the ciphertext, and they want to get the plain text, or they want to get the key. And as I told that, it includes lot of mathematical calculations, or lot of mathematical investigations has to be done on the encryption and the decryption algorithms. Remember, so here the attackers or the crypt analysts, right? Don't confuse the term, confuse with the term crypt analyst, right? Crypt analyst can be an attacker, or he can be the genuine user also, right? For example, there are lot of companies who hire these crypt analysts also. Can you guess why they are going to recruit these crypt analysts? Any wild guess you have? Companies,
In
they
order
use it to recruit the
find
crypt
the
analysts.
bugs in their encryption and decryption algorithms.
Right. So assume that you have developed a encryption algorithm called XYZ, and you want to know the strength of this XYZ. What do you mean by strength of the algorithm? In the cryptography point of view, it is nothing but how strong your algorithm is. How strong your algorithm is coding the plain text into the ciphertext, and how strong it is resistant to the attackers. All these things are used to identify how strong your XYZ algorithm is. So in this case, the developer cannot make use of different techniques to identify the strength of this XYZ algorithm. So what they will do is, they will recruit this crypt analyst. So what this crypt analyst will do is, he will do the analysis, mathematical analysis, and he tries to exploit this XYZ algorithm. he tries to find whether there are any backdoors to exploit this particular XYZ algorithm, right? Whether there are any other techniques where we can simply get the plain text from the ciphertext, or where we can get the key from the ciphertext and plain text. So like that, he will make use of lot of analysis techniques from the mathematics, and he will try to identify the strength of the algorithm, right? So cryptanalyst is not an attacker, but there are some people who have some bad intentions, so those are also called as cryptanalysts only, but their intention is different. They want to exploit the different algorithms for their personal benefits. That is a different case, right? So don't get a bad impression that cryptanalysts are always the attackers. Cryptanalysts are also genuine users. They can be genuine users, and they can be recruited by the companies in order to analyze the algorithm, the cryptographic algorithm which they have developed, right? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Right. So there is another point which we need to discuss about this cryptanalysis is it's not the same thing that they make use of the mathematical investigations to find out what are all the pitfalls that are present inside the encryption and the decryption algorithms. It's not the case, right? They can also attack the channels also, the communication channels. They analyze the communication channel, like traffic analysis. Traffic analysis is a technique where the attacker, they will analyze what type of traffic is going on between the sender and the receiver. So by analyzing the traffic that is going between the sender and the receiver, the attacker will come to know some important information regarding the traffic, or regarding the data that is being sent from the sender to the receiver. So in addition to the exploitation of the encryption and decryption algorithms, the cryptanalyst can also attack the channel, and thereby he wants to identify the flaws in implementation rather than the mathematical flaws of the algorithm, right? Is it clear up to this point? Simple point about this cryptanalysis is whether they can use the mathematical investigations and they can identify the weak points in the encryption and the decryption algorithm. That is one case. The second case is they can attack the channel. The cryptanalyst can attack the channel, and they try to exploit the ciphertext, and they try to identify the flaws in the ciphertext rather than attacking the algorithm itself. These are the two ways in which the cryptanalysis can be done. In a simple term, you can simply say that cryptanalysis is the decryption and analysis of codes, ciphers, or encrypted text. Simple thing. Right. Forget about everything. Remember that analyzing the codes, or analyzing the ciphers, or analyzing the encrypted text is called as the cryptanalysis. Is it clear? So what is cryptanalysis?
Decryption and analysis of code ciphers are encrypted.
Right. Simple terms, we can say that analysis of codes, ciphers, and encrypted texts for decryption, right, is called as cryptanalysis. And these are the various categories of cryptanalysis we have. Very simple techniques we have. So the first one is the KPA. KPA stands for known plain text analysis. And the second category is the CPA. CPA stands for chosen plain text analysis. And ACPA is an extension to CPA, where we call it as the adapt to chosen plain text attack. And the fourth category is ciphertext only analysis. We call it in the short form as COA. Right. So majorly these are the four categories of this cryptanalysis, but we can also make use of this MITM, right? Man in the middle attack. M stands for man, I in, T the, and M in the middle, right? So this is an extra point we are going to discuss about this cryptanalysis. So coming to the categories, the first category is the known plain text analysis. So what the crypt analyst or what attacker will do is he will access both the plain text and the ciphertext, right? So the attacker has access to both plain text as well as the ciphertext. So once he knows the plain text and the ciphertext, he will try to analyze the secret information from this plain text and ciphertext. He tries to get the key. This is how the known plain text analysis is being implemented. Is it clear? The name itself is saying that known plain text. That means the attacker knows some part of the plain text, and he can easily get this ciphertext, right? So once this ciphertext and plain text is known to the attacker, it is very easy to find the key, right? He will do some mathematical analysis and he tries to get the relationship between this plain text and the ciphertext, and he tries to get the key. So that is known as known plain text analysis. In short, we call it as KPA. Is it clear?
Yes.
Right. So in the second category, it is chosen plain text analysis. It is also similar to that of KPA only, but the difference is the attacker will have the ciphertext. He can easily get the ciphertext, right? He can attack the communication channel and he can easily get the ciphertext. But this time the attacker does not know the plain text, what actual plain text is. So what he will do is he will try the plain text in a arbitrary fashion. Randomly he will choose some plain text. Right, this is arbitrary plain text, random plain text. He will make use of this arbitrary plain text and make use of the encryption algorithm, and then he will get the ciphertext. Once he knows this plain text and ciphertext, he can analyze it to get the encrypted data or the key. Right. So the simple difference between this known plain text and chosen plain text is nothing but, in the first category, the plain text is the original plain text. Right. He knows, the attacker knows some part of the plain text, original plain text. But in the second category, it is just trial and error method. The attacker, he will do some trials with one. First of all, he will select some plain text in a random fashion and he applies the cryptographic algorithm and he will get the ciphertext. After that, he will again apply another plain text, arbitrary plain text, and then he will get the ciphertext. Like that, he will generate a lot of plain text and ciphertext. And based upon the relationship between this ciphertext and the plain text, he may generate the key, right? Which is almost impossible, but it is sometimes possible. That is the reason why we are discussing at this particular point. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
And in the third category, we have the adaptive chosen plain text attack. So it is similar to that of CPA only, but we are adding or we are preceding it with a term called as adaptive. So when do we say adaptive? So if he is flexible, we say that he is adaptive. For example, I say that some X person is adaptive to the environment. So wherever he goes, he will quickly adapt to that. He will quickly adjust to that environment. In the similar manner, the chosen plain text remains the same. The description what I have discussed in the earlier discussions remains the same. That means the chosen plain text is nothing but arbitrary plain text, which is generated by the attacker on a trial and error basis. Right. But this time it is adaptive. That means we are going to get this chosen plain text not randomly. It is based on the past encryptions. So he will have, the attacker will have some idea on the past encryptions also, what plain texts have been used previously. Based upon it, he will choose the plain text. Right. So this is purely trial and error basis, the CPA. But APCA is not purely trial and error basis. He will select the random text only, but that random text is dependent on the previous encryptions. So it depends on past data also. So that is the difference between the CPA and ACPA. Is it clear?
Yes.
Right. And the last category is the ciphertext only analysis. Ciphertext only analysis. The name itself is saying that we are going to analyze the ciphertext only. Here the attacker does not know anything about the plain text. Right. So it is something like a reverse engineering. The attacker knows only the ciphertext which is sent through the communication channel. Right. By making use of this ciphertext only, the attacker tries to find the encryption key. It is very tough job. It's almost impossible, right? And it's very hardest to implement. But this is the most probable attack. Right? This ciphertext only analysis is the most probable attack. Why? Because the ciphertext can be easily accessed by the attacker. The attacker can easily get the ciphertext by attacking the communication channel. So this is the most probable attack that may happen during the communication of the information from the sender to the receiver. Is it clear?
Yes.
It is enough that we discuss these four categories: KPA, CPA, ACPA, and the COA. Right. So the man in the middle attack means the name itself is saying that this particular attack is possible when you are sending some data or information through a communication channel. Right. We assume that the communication channel between the sender and the receiver is highly secured, and you try to send the information, confidential information, through this communication channel. But there are a lot of chances that this communication channel gets compromised. Right. So the attacker can easily attack this communication channel, and he can get the ciphertext, and by making use of the ciphertext, he can make use of this ciphertext only analysis, and he tries to retrieve the plain text or the key. Right. So that is called as the man in the middle attack. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
And this is very important topic, you should understand. Right. So the crypt analysis is categorized into two types, broadly categorized into two types. The first one is the linear cryptanalysis, and the second one is the differential cryptanalysis. Right. We will see some of the differences between the linear cryptanalysis and the differential cryptanalysis. Can anybody tell me what do you understand by the term linear cryptanalysis? Just an idea of what this actual meaning of this linear cryptanalysis is. We know what cryptanalysis is. So we are going to analyze the codes to get the key. That is our main intention. But what do you mean by this linear cryptanalysis? The name itself is saying that we are going to analyze the codes in order to identify the linear relationship between the bits of the plain text. You see the third point here. Right. So we are going to identify the linear relationship between the bits of the plain text or ciphertext or keys. Right. So what is plain text? What do you mean by plain text? It is the actual data which we want to transfer. Am I right or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So how we are going to transfer this plain text? For example, I want to send university. Am I going to send this text as it is from the sender to the receiver? When we are making use of computers, every character should be converted into bits. right? So every character is converted into bits, and you are going to transmit those bits through the communication channel. So this is called plain text. But at the sender side, you are going to convert this plain text into ciphertext. Am I right or not?
Sir.
So this plain text is bits. This is what we know. And what about this ciphertext? Is it the characters or bits? Right. So the ciphertext is also bits, right? What about the key? Is it a textual data or bits?
Sir.
It is also bits, right? So every information you use in the computer should be in the form of zeros and ones only. So it is nothing but bits. You take plain text, it is a bit. You take ciphertext, it is a bit. Key, they are also bits. So whenever the analyst, the crypt analyst, he wants to find the linear relationship between the bits of the plain text or the bits of the ciphertext or the bits of the key, then they are categorized as the linear cryptanalysis, right? And what about the differential cryptanalysis? What do you understand by the term differential? Any idea?
Difference in plain text and ciphertext.
Right.
Input and output.
Right. So in the differential cryptanalysis, the crypt analyst is more interested to find the difference between the bits of two plain texts and two ciphertexts, right? Here remember that in the linear cryptanalysis you are going to take only one plain text P1, and you will generate the ciphertext C1 by making use of K key1, right? But here the cryptanalyst is interested to identify the difference between the plain texts. So the user has to take two plain texts P1 and P2. He will try to identify the difference of bits between two plain texts. And when the plain texts are changed, do we have two different ciphertexts or not? So if I use P1, I will get C1. If I use the plain text P2, I will get C2. So when there is a difference of P1 and P2, the difference remains the same in the C1 and C2 also, right? So the user or the attacker tries to find the difference of two plain texts and the corresponding difference in the two ciphertexts. That is the reason why we call it as the differential crypt analysis, right? So is it clear about the actual definition of the linear cryptanalysis and differential cryptanalysis?
Yes, sir.
Right. So in the linear cryptanalysis, the attacker is interested to find the linear relation between some bits of plain text or some bits of ciphertext and some bits of key. But in the differential analysis, you can observe that the attacker is interested to find the difference of two plain texts, and he will identify the corresponding difference from the ciphertext C1 and C2. Thereby, he tries to get the key. In the linear analysis, we will use only one plain text and one ciphertext and one key. But in the differential analysis, you should have two plain texts P1 and P2 and two ciphertexts C1 and C2. Thereby, you can generate the key. This is the main difference between the linear and the differential cryptanalysis, right? After that, look at this first point. So the linear cryptanalysis is most widely used attacks on only block ciphers. So what are the two categories of modern symmetric ciphers?
Block and stream, sir.
Super. Right. We have block ciphers and stream ciphers. But if you observe this linear cryptanalysis, this is most probably used attack on the block ciphers only. Right. And the differential cryptanalysis are attacks primarily on the block ciphers only, but they can be done on the stream ciphers also. Right. And coming to the inventors, the linear cryptanalysis was first defined by Matsui and Yamagishi in 1992, and this differential cryptanalysis is invented by Beham and Adi Shamir. Right. These are the inventors. Forget about the inventors, right? We don't remember also. Even if you try to remember, it is not possible, right? So the main topic of interest is what actually is linear cryptanalysis, where we can apply. So the linear cryptanalysis can be applied to the modern block ciphers only. Whereas if you take the differential cryptanalysis, it can be applied for the modern block ciphers as well as the stream ciphers, and you can apply it for the hash functions also. That's a different case. Right. Is it clear? So this point we have already discussed. Linear relation between some bits of plain text and the ciphertext and the unknown key is what the attacker is going to identify. But in the differential analysis, he is going to analyze the changes in some chosen plain texts. This is not text, you can observe here. You can take more than one text, and the difference in the outputs, which are nothing but the ciphertexts. Right. And by making use of the difference between the plain text and the ciphertext, it is possible to recover some keys. So the main intention is to get the key, right? And you try to look at this last point. So linear cryptanalysis focuses on statistical analysis. As I told that cryptanalysis itself makes use of lot of mathematical concepts. So lot of statistics are involved. So the linear cryptanalyst, he will make use of the statistics part of the mathematics, and he tries to get the decrypted ciphertext. Thereby, and this can be applied to lot of and this can be applied to lot of rounds, right? What do you mean by round? Any idea? Previously we have discussion on this round also. Where we have seen this round concept in cryptography. Have we gone through the concept of product ciphers? Have we gone through the concept of Feastel ciphers and non-Feastel ciphers?
Yes, sir.
So in those concepts, we have gone through the concept called as round. Round is nothing but iteration. So in order to have the greater diffusion and confusion, we are implementing more number of rounds. So each and every round may consist of the P box. Each and every round may consist of a combination of P box, S boxes, XOR, swap, like that. Any component of the modern box cipher you can make use of. You can make use to develop a round or to develop an iteration. Right. So like that we can implement more number of rounds. You can take 64 rounds or you can take 16 rounds. Anything is possible. Why we are making use of more number of rounds means it is just to increase the confusion and diffusion. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And in the differential analysis, the analyst focuses on statistical analysis of two inputs. As I told that in the differential cryptanalysis, you require two plain texts P1 and P2 and two ciphertexts C1 and C2. So differential analysis focuses on statistical analysis of two inputs and two outputs of the cryptographic algorithm. These are the main points you should understand, right? So the linear analysis is used to find the linear relationship between the plain text. Then the differential analysis is used to find the difference between the inputs and the outputs. Only one plain text is used in the linear analysis, and two plain text and two ciphertexts are used in the differential cryptanalysis, and they can identify the keys. Linear analysis is used only for the block ciphers, whereas the differential analysis is used both for the stream ciphers as well as the cryptographic hash functions also. Right? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Now let us see what are the attacks on these block ciphers. This is one of the important topic we have under this block ciphers. So attacks on block ciphers. These the attacks which are incurred or which occur for the traditional ciphers can also occur for the block ciphers also. Right? What are traditional ciphers? What are the categories of traditional ciphers we have?
Substitution and transposition, sir.
Super. Substitution and transposition. So whatever attacks we have on the substitution and transposition techniques, they are also applied for the modern block ciphers also. But compared to that of the traditional ciphers, the block ciphers are more resistant to these attacks. So you cannot easily break the block ciphers. It's not that much easy to break the block ciphers. That is the point you have to understand, right? So what are the attacks on these block ciphers is nothing but the two categories of analysis, crypt analysis, what we have discussed. One is the linear crypt analysis can be applied on these block ciphers, and similarly the differential crypt analysis can be applied to this block ciphers. So the two types of attacks that happens on modern block ciphers are the linear crypt analysis and the differential crypt analysis, right? So this we have already discussed. Regarding this differential crypt analysis, Beham and Shamir are the inventors of this differential crypt analysis. Differential crypt analysis is a method of breaking certain classes of crypto systems. So even linear crypt analysis is also used to break the crypto system only. The differential crypt analysis is available to obtain clues about some bits of key, thereby shortening the exhaustive search. So you will obtain the difference between the plain text and the ciphertext, thereby you can obtain the key. Right. So this is important. By analyzing the changes in some chosen plain texts and the difference in the outputs resulting from the encrypting each one, it is possible to recover some of the keys. This is what I am saying from the first onwards. The main intention of the attacker is to identify the key. How he is going to identify the key in differential crypt analysis is he will take two plain texts P1 and P2, and he will try to identify the difference between these plain texts, and the corresponding C1 and C2 which are generated from P1 and P2 using some cryptographic algorithm. He tries to identify the difference by making use of the differences between these two plain texts and the two ciphertexts. It is easy to identify the key. One example we will see, don't worry, right? And the last point, this is also important, the differential analysis is focusing on the statistical analysis of two inputs and two outputs, right? And we can call it as this is a chosen plain text attack, CPA. What do you mean by chosen plain text attack? What do you mean by chosen plain text attack?
The included or cryptanalyzed
This will choose some random plain text.
Super, right. So in order to make this type of attack, the attacker will choose some arbitrary plain text, that is called as chosen plain text. So if the attacker chooses the correct plain text, some part of the plain text, then we call it as the KPA, known plain text attack, right. So this is a category, the differential cryptanalysis is a category of the CPA, right. Even you can use the COA also, it's not a big issue, right, but most probably you will using this CPA. Is it clear? So let us have a look at this differential cryptanalysis with this example. Listen carefully. This is the crypto system I am using. That means I have a plain text, and in order to generate a ciphertext C, I am using a key called K. So what is the operation that I am performing here? Any idea? What is this operation called? What is this symbol represented as? What is that symbol? Plus surrounded by a circle. It is nothing but an XOR operation. It is nothing but an XOR operation, right. So what is the formula for the ciphertext? How can I write C? C is equal to plain text exclusive OR K. Am I right or not? The ciphertext C is equal to plain text exclusive OR with key K, right. So assume that the cipher is made up of only of one exclusive OR operation, this one, and without knowing the value of the key Eve, here you have to treat this Eve as an attacker, right. She always tries to attack the plain text and ciphertext, and she wants to make lot of analysis to get the or to retrieve the key. That is the main motto of this Eve. That's the reason why we call Eve as an attacker, right. So Eve can easily find the relationship between the plain text and the ciphertext. So the plain text difference we mean P1 plus P2, P1 exclusive or P2, and the ciphertext difference means C1 exclusive or C2. So if you take one plain text P1, right, listen carefully. If you take the plain text P1 and the key is K, so what is C1 here? C1 is equal to, according to this diagram, it is P1 exclusive or K, right. And if I take another text P2 and I make use of the same key K, the ciphertext C2 is generated by the formula P2 exclusive or K, right. Now if I want to find the difference, since it is a differential cryptanalysis, you have to identify the difference of the ciphertext that are obtained. So how can you identify the difference? It is nothing but C1 exclusive or C2. Do you have any doubt why we are calling this exclusive OR as why we are using this exclusive OR to find the difference, right. So let us take one plain text 0 0 1 1 and another plain text 0 1 0 1, right. So if I make use of the exclusive OR operation of this P1 and P2, what is the result I will get? 1 and 1, therefore it will result in 0. 1 and 0, difference of bits is there, therefore it will get 1. 0 and 1, difference of bits is there, therefore you will get 1. 0 and 0, same bits, there is no difference, therefore you will get 0. So you can observe here that whenever there is a difference of bits, we are getting the 1 as the result. So by making use of this P1 exclusive or P2, you can easily identify that there are two bits that differ from each other, that differ in plain text 1 and plain text 2. Am I right or not?
Yes, sir.
So out of these plain text P1 and P2, you can observe that the middle bits 0, 1 and 1, 0 in P2 are differing. The remaining bits remains the same. So the difference of plain text and the plain text P1 and P2 can be identified by the exclusive OR. Right. So what do you mean by C1 plus C2? Replace this C1 with P1 plus K. So it is P1 exclusive OR K, and again exclusive OR is there. Again replace this C2 with P2 exclusive OR K. So it is P2 exclusive OR K. So this is equal to P1 exclusive OR P2 plus K exclusive OR K. What is K exclusive OR K? Can anybody tell me? What is K exclusive OR K? For example, K is equal to 101, right? Exclusive OR K 101. So what is the result I will get here? Same bits 0, similar bits
0,
0,
0,
0, 0. So it is nothing but 0. Am I right or not? So P1 exclusive OR P2 exclusive OR 0. So you can eliminate this one. Why? Because P1, for example, I have 101 bit. What is 0, 0, 0? 1, 0, 1. Am I right or not? So the plain same text you are getting when you perform an exclusive OR operation with 0. So this entire thing K exclusive OR K will become 0. So P1 exclusive OR P2 exclusive OR 0 becomes P1 exclusive OR P2. So you can observe here that C1 exclusive OR C2 will yield P1 exclusive OR P2. So the attacker will make use of this particular relationship and he or she will try to get the key. Is it clear up to this point? So here you can add an SBox table also. Right. So we have P, which is P plain text, consists of 3 bits, and when I exclusive OR with X with K, which is of 3 bits length, I will get an intermediary text which is called as X. This X is called as intermediary text, right, which is of 3 bits, and when I pass this X bits 3 bits into this SBox of 3 by 2, what 3 by 2, I will get the ciphertext which is having a length of 2 bits. This is the table which they have used to convert the plain text into the ciphertext, to convert the 3-bit intermediary plain text into 2-bit ciphertext. Is it clear up to this point? Right. So by making use of this differential outputs and inputs, this is P1 plus P2 is differential input and C1 plus C2 is differential output. The attacker will give this table, or he will generate this table which is called as probabilistic table. Right. So P1 consists of 3 bits, plain text consists of 3 bits, therefore I will get 8 combinations here. And the output is only 2 bits from the previous diagram, therefore I will get only 4 combinations. So I need to map these 8 bits in this 4 combinations, 8 combinations with the 4 combinations. So this is the probabilistic table that the Eve has generated. What does this 8 means? So whenever I give input as 000 or the difference between in the inputs is 000, then the output I will get is always this 0 only, 00. And what about this one, 110? So when the difference between the plain text P1 and P2 is 110, I may get these three outputs. I may get a maximum probability of 00 and a 25% probability of 10 and 25% of probability of 11. So this is the actual distribution table we have, differential distribution table. Here we have 1 means 8 combinations are mapped to only this 00, and this one, as I told that here the value is 4 in the previous table, right? So 0.50, that means 50% probability are there. Whenever the difference of the plain text is 110, there is 50% of probability that the difference of the outputs will fall into this category. Like that, the distribution table is generated. Right. So by making use of this table, this distribution table, the Eve can generate the keys. Right. Right. So from these two texts, the same thing what he has taken. For example, P1 plus P2 is equal to 001. Then C1 plus C2 is equal to 1 1. For example, what P1 plus P2 is equal to 001 means you have to consider this row, and under this row the most probability is for this column, right? Therefore, when P1 exclusive or P2 is equal to 001, then we have C1 exclusive or C2 is equal to, the most probable value is 1 1. It is 1 1. This is what he has taken here. So if P1 exclusive or P2 is equal to 001, C1 exclusive or C2 is equal to 1 1. Right. And here the Eve makes use of chosen ciphertext attack. What do you mean by chosen ciphertext? That means chosen is arbitrary. So arbitrarily the Eve takes some ciphertext. For example, Eve has taken the C1 as 00, C2 as 1 1. So when C1 is equal to 00, the Eve have got the plain text as P1 is equal to 010. And when the Eve has chosen some arbitrary ciphertext C2 is equal to 1 1, she gets P2 as 011. Now she tries to work backward. This is a reverse engineering, and he tries to find the P1 and C1. That means she tries to find the key based upon this P1 and C1. Is it clear up to this point? Right. So if C1 is equal to 00, this is an arbitrary ciphertext what Eve has chosen. From this she wants to find the key. How she can get the key is, if C1 is equal to 00, she finds what are all the possible combinations of the intermediary text. So she goes to this S table, and if C is equal to 00, how many combinations I have here? These three combinations. That means when the ciphertext is 00, I can take, that is generated from the intermediary text as 001 or from 101 or from 111. I can take any two, right? So if 00 is the output, the intermediary text can be 001 or 101 or 111. So here I have taken, the Eve has taken as 001 and 111. So I have a formula called C is equal to P exclusive or, X is equal to P exclusive or K. So what happens to K here? K is equal to P exclusive or X, nothing more than that. So if x1 is equal to 0, 0, 1, and I know that P1 is 0, 1, 0. So 0, 1, 0 exclusive or 0, 0, 1. What is the output I will get? It is 1, 1 and 0. So the key what I will get when x1 is equal to 0, 0, 1 and P1 is equal to 0, 1, 0 is 0, D, double 1. Similarly, if x1 is equal to 3, 1 and P1 is equal to 0, 1, 0, I will get it as 1, 0, 1. Right. So these are the two keys that I get, the Eve has got when she has chosen the ciphertext C1 as 0, 0 and the plain text as 0, 1, 0. Similarly, she takes another ciphertext, chosen ciphertext 1, 1. She identifies what this x2 and x2 is, two combinations, and from this she tries to find two different keys. You can observe here that these two texts, they confirm that the key can be either 0, 1, 1 or 1, 0, 1. So here you can observe that the Eve has taken two plain texts and she has taken two ciphertext. She has identified the difference between the plain text and the ciphertext correspondingly. Then she does some reverse engineering and she tries to find the key. This is what is called as the differential crypt analysis. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Right. And coming to the linear cryptanalysis, this we have discussed. The attacker, she always tries to find the linear relationship between the bits of plain text or the bits of ciphertext and the bits of the key, right? And here the cryptanalyst makes use of the statistical analysis and she tries to find the key. As I told that the linear cryptanalysis, it makes use of only one plain text and one key to generate the ciphertext. There is no need for two plain text and two ciphertexts. Why? Because we are not dependent on the difference of the plain text and the ciphertext. We are just taking the plain text, we find the relationship between the linear relation between the plain text. Similarly, you generate the ciphertext and correspondingly you will try to identify the key. Right? This everything we have discussed. Right? So if you observe this diagram, this is a simple cipher with a linear S box. So what are these P0, P1 and P2? These are nothing but plain text bits. Similarly, this is exclusive OR operation. K2, K1 and K0 are the bits related to the keys. What is this x2, x1 and 0? These are intermediary text. And then this x1, x2, x3, x0 are passed through a 3x3 S box. What do you mean by 3x3 S box? So 3 represents, the first 3 represents the inputs. Therefore, since you are giving x0, x1 and x2 as 3 inputs, you will generate the 3 outputs. Right? So the 3 outputs that are generated are C0, C1 and C2. And the relationship between the C0 and the intermediary text, the ciphertext and the intermediary text is given by these formulas. C0 is equal to x0 plus exclusive OR x1, C1 is equal to x0 exclusive OR x1 and x2, and C2 is equal to x1 exclusive OR s2. This is the linear relation that I have mentioned for the S box. So what is that I have given there? C0 is equal to x0 exclusive OR x1. C1 is equal to x0 exclusive OR x1 exclusive OR x2. And C2 is equal to x1 exclusive OR x2. This is intermediary. So what is the formula of x1 here? X0 is equal to, x is equal to, the output is nothing but the inputs, the exclusive OR of 2 inputs. What is the 2 inputs to this exclusive OR? The plain text and the key. So x is nothing but P exclusive OR k. So you replace this x0. X0 is identified by P0 exclusive OR K0. Exclusive OR. What is this x1? it is nothing but P1 exclusive or K1. Similarly, C1 is replaced with X0 substituted with P0 plus exclusive or K0, X1 substituted with P1 exclusive or K1, X2 substituted with P2 exclusive or K2. Similarly, C2 is equal to P1 exclusive or K1 and P2 exclusive or K2. So, by identifying the linear relationship between the ciphertext and the plain text, by solving these three unknowns, we will get the key. K0 is given as plain text P0 exclusive or C1 exclusive or C2. Similarly, K2 is given as P2 exclusive or C1 exclusive or C1. Like this, you are easily identifying the bits that are present inside the key, right? So this means that the three known plain text attacks can get the values of K0, K1 and K2. Is it clear up to this point? Right.
Yes, sir.
So the main intention of the script analysis is to make use of some mathematical concepts such as the statistics part from the mathematics and to identify the key itself. The main intention is to get the key. How they are getting is, in the linear cryptanalysis they are using to they are finding the linear relationship between the bits of plain text or ciphertext, and in the differential cryptanalysis they are finding the difference of the plain text bits and the ciphertext bits. Thereby they can get the key values. So once the key is compromised, everything is compromised. So crypt analysts are the users, are the persons who are responsible to perform the crypt analysis attacks, right? So it is used to identify the key, and as I told that the crypt analysts are also recruited by some of the famous companies in order to identify the strength of encryption algorithms which you have developed, which the company have developed, right? So in today's session we have discussed an in-depth discussion of this crypt analysis, where we have discussed the various categories of the crypt analysis such as KPA, known plain text, CPA, chosen plain text, COA, ciphertext only attack, and ACPA, adaptive chosen plain text attack. After this we have gone through the linear crypt analysis versus the differential crypt analysis, and then we have seen some examples why the differential crypt analysis requires two plain texts or two ciphertexts to identify the keys. And similarly we have seen an example on the linear crypt analysis where we have taken a simple plain text which consists of n bits P0, P1 and P2, and we have seen how the key has been identified from the plain text and the ciphertext itself, right? So this is end of today's session. Thank you one and all.